the home of the Berwick Bulldogs. This is W234BH Berwick at 94.7, WBWX W242CY Berwick at 96.3, W282CO Bloomsburg at 104.3, W288CF Danville at 105.5, and streaming online at thisispopradio.com. Pop Radio, a Seven Mountains Media radio station. Just 1 hour before kickoff, it's time for the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio. A conversation with Berwick Bulldogs Mike Bennett and the voice of the Dogs, Jim Doyle. Let's go! Brought to you by Bob Subs, W&L Subaru, Nissan, Mazda, and Collision Center, First Columbia Bank and Trust, Flick Brothers Electric, Independence Ford, Preferred Portables, Mayo Funeral Home, Neighbor Fence Company, S.J. Kowalski, Reds Roofing, Nespoli Jewelers, ND Accounting, Mason Monogram, Eco First, Lehigh Valley Health Network, and Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg.
Well, the curtain falls on the 2023 regular season tonight. Here at Crispin Field, the Bulldogs take on Hazleton area in the regular season finale. Both teams are 2-7, both coming off close losses on the road. Hazleton area lost 24-21 at Williamsport. The Dogs lost 33-27 in the rain at Comet Stadium in Crestwood. Once again, we're talking to acting head coach Bo Orlando. Bo, there's certainly no quit in your team. You're down 33-14 after 3 quarters in deteriorating weather conditions. Your team put together 2 scoring drives to pull within 6, and then after a long return of a fumble recovery, you're at the 29-yard line going for the lead. It just didn't work out for you. You have to be proud of the effort.
Oh, I mean, I've been proud of these guys all year. I mean, the schedule we've been playing and the teams we've been playing, I mean, the guys are unreal. I mean, with guys being sick and everything in practice out here, I mean, sometimes it's 11 on 11 with 7 guys in uniform. I mean, it's a little different than the old days, and it's kind of tough. But our guys have been plugging around. We've had, I mean, our starting center was out. Jimmy Dandria, our fullback linebacker, has been out for 2 weeks. He's coming back, and we've had some guys step in there. Draven Geiger, a young lineman, stepped in. And like I said, I told those guys, you give me effort, we can't complain about anything.
Ethan Lear and Tyler Winter don't play for my entertainment, but I have to admit I'm really entertained by them. They're terrific players. Both went over 100 yards rushing in that game. Ethan had 3 rushing touchdowns. They're very talented, but it seems to me they're real competitors, too. You can't tell what the score is when you see them play.
No, Ethan's been like that. He's always, when he plays defense, he's a little bit different. When he plays offense, when he get the ball in his hand, even like on a scout team last year and the last 2 years, I mean, he's always made something happen, and it's just kind of like his nature, you know what I mean? And Tyler, I mean, I was standing behind Tyler. We went in shorts last night, and we went through a little walkthrough practice. And I'm looking and see how small he is and how muscular. I mean, that guy, for his size, I mean, is got a heart of gold. I mean, he runs so hard. There's some plays in there in Crestwood that we didn't have everybody blocked, but he gets through and he just makes some runs. I mean, he amazes me, and he's been doing a great job for us this year.
You don't get 216 yards rushing and have 2 100-plus rushers without some good offensive line play, and yet you did that with 2 players starting for the first time. Rocco Romeo at center. You mentioned Draven Geiger at guard. They must have done okay.
They done pretty good. Rocco did. You know, Rocco was out a couple weeks ago with a concussion. He hasn't played all this year. But when he's in there, he plays well. And we were, it's suspect when you're at the game and you don't know what happens and the snaps and the wet balls. Looking back on it, he didn't do a bad job. Rocco did a really good job, and I'm real impressed with Draven. Like I told you earlier, I mean, I've always been telling Draven he's done a great job this year, and I'm glad that he's only a sophomore.
Obviously, under those conditions, last Friday it was very difficult to pass the ball, but Billy Hansen had 4 receptions. So he missed a couple of games for you, but good to have him back in the mix.
Absolutely. Billy's been our playmaker this year, and when the games that he wasn't in there, I mean, it was tough, you know what I mean, and someone else had to step up. But Billy's been, Billy was a player that started for us, did a great job at corner last year, and kind of stepped up. He's a junior, and I told him, you're the guy. Like, you have to be the playmaker. And we've thrown around thoughts of him playing quarterback sometimes because he could just make things happen. He's just a really good athlete.
Well, up next, Bo will evaluate his team's defensive effort against Crestwood. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Experience a drive that makes you feel more connected than ever before at W&L Mazda. Discover the exhilarating power and stunning design of the all-new Mazda CX-90. Right now, we have as low as 3.9% financing for 60 months on this third-row SUV with seating up to 8, or go swiftly and confidently in a fuel-efficient Mazda CX-30, which offers up to 33 miles per gallon and as low as 2.9% financing for 60 months. We're off Route 11 in Northumberland. Online at WNLMazda.com. Financing for well-qualified applicants only. Offer cannot be combined with any other offers. See dealer for complete details. Ends October 31st.
The Mayo Funeral Homes, located at 110 Chestnut Street in Berwick and 77 Main Street in Chickashinny, are proud sponsors of Berwick Bulldog football. The Mayo Funeral Homes, serving all faiths, makes it easier for those you love with pre-arranged funeral counseling, insurance, and pre-financed funerals. Mayo Funeral Homes also offers expert guidance in both traditional and cremation services. Mayo Funeral Homes, perfection in every detail.
As a community bank, First Columbia Bank and Trust knows the value of helping our young people dream, excel, and reach their goals. For more than 120 years, First Columbia has been committed to helping our communities prosper and our youth succeed. We're proud to invest in our youth through athletics, the arts, and education. First Columbia Bank and Trust, with you and your children every step of the way.
Every step of the way, First Columbia Bank.
Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas of Berwick. The roofing experts for all of our listening area. With over 30 years experience and great rates, why go anywhere else when Red's Roofing will get the job done right for your roofing, decks, and siding, specializing in metal roofs, rubber roofs, and shingles. Most of the work is done in one day. Red's Roofing, the roofing ninjas. Now located in Dushore and also serving Bradford and Sullivan counties with owner Harry Titus, a supporter of the Berwick football team and St. Jude Children's Hospital. Call 570-752-4351.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
It's senior night here at Crispin Field. 11 Bulldogs in their final regular season home game as the Dogs take on Hazleton area in the regular season finale. Bowyer defense struggled to stop the run at Crestwood last Friday. The Comets rushed for 300 yards, although they did have a lot of carries to get to that point. What makes that single wing and the way they run it tough to stop?
Well, you know, they stack everybody up and you try to stack it and then they counter it and they go backside on you. So whatever you try to overcompensate for them, they will come backside. They can be in all different angles. And, you know, they're big up front. And they're pretty quick. They were a little quicker than I thought. And, they always run the ball. They've killed us for the last 2 years just running the ball.
Crestwood attempted only 2 passes. One was intercepted by Billy Hansen. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the other was a 27-yard touchdown pass, Jack Rogers to Matt Sklarowski. I thought your team's coverage was pretty good. In fact, I had to hold on the call watching the official to decide that it was indeed a touchdown.
Yeah, our safety, they were packed in tight. They had a bunch to one side, and they had the receiver was flexed in, and he just play action. He came out. We knew they were doing it. They always take a shot every game doing it. It just wasn't as wide, and he ran right by our safety. Our safety caught up and, you know, did the techniques that we do, go through his hands, rip the ball out, and the kid made a hell of a catch.
Everett Snyder's long return of a fumble gave your team a chance to win, gave you the ball their 29-yard line with plenty of time left. We didn't get a good look at that because we were on the other side of the field. You probably got a lot better look. What happened there?
Caleb May came up from safety, and when he tackled him, he stuck his head and his shoulder under the ball, and the ball just squeezed right out, just popped out, and Everett was kind of rounding him in the back, and it went right into his hands. I mean, it couldn't have been any better. I'm still a little upset at Everett right now that he didn't score. But Everett's been a young linebacker that stopped in for us. Obviously, his brother's been playing real well for us. But he's growing up a lot this year. We put him in the mix, and, he started the games that Jimmy's been out. So he's kind of grown up, and I'm glad he's got that playing experience. But he's doing a great job for us.
Special teams are always a concern when you have the weather conditions that you had last Friday night. Luke Peters did a good job kicking the ball for extra points. Overall, I think your special teams did pretty well.
Yeah, But right in the beginning, we weren't so good, but we kind of polished some things up, and our special teams have been solid enough that, we always say there's 3 phases. There's offense, defense, and special teams. And special teams, for the most part this year, have been doing pretty well.
Well, later in the show, Bo will tell us about tonight's opponent, Hazleton area, but up next, it's the Bulldog Spotlight feature. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
It's time for Sunbury Motors Ford to eat their leftovers. Choose from over 240 new Fords with savings up to $11,071. SMC is where you want to be in October for new Fords priced at just $108 over invoice, minus huge rebates. And financing as low as 0.9%. Pick from 15 of the newly redesigned 2023 Ford Escapes with savings up to $33,62, and they start at just $30,427. Sunbury Motors has the #1 selling SUV of all time, the Ford Explorer, slashed up to $39,880, and choose from 21, starting at only $41,993. SMC has 26 of the best-selling vehicles on the planet. The 2023 Ford F-150 reduced up to $11,071, which includes package discounts and factory rebates. If you're looking for the absolute best deals of the year, now's the time to take advantage of Sunbury Motors 2023 leftover clearance sale. Sunbury Motors in the North 4th Street Auto Plaza, Central PA's volume Ford dealer, proudly owned by the Mertz family for over 108 years. Hurry before someone gets your leftovers.
The subs at Bob's Subs and Pizza in Berwick have so much meat in them, you'll be having leftovers for days. The Italian is piled high with fresh slices of ham, capicola, salami, and pepperoni on a freshly baked bun. Bob's cheesesteak oozes with cheesy goodness woven into a mountain of thinly sliced ribeye steak. So if you're tired of bland, unsatisfying subs, Bob's Subs and Pizza in Berwick is your new go-to. With over 22 different kinds of sumptuous, hearty subs, you'll find just the one or two to cure your cravings. And the pizza at Bob's Subs and Pizza, oh, it's so good. Bob's Subs and Pizza in Berwick. Taste the difference.
Save today on a great selection of the best appliance brands and discover top-notch service at Flick Brothers Electric in Bloomsburg. Browse their showroom, which features appliances in a variety of different kitchen configurations and offers appliances and water heaters for every budget. Flick Brothers showcases top names like GE and GE Monogram, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, KitchenAid, Maytag, Sharp, Amana, and built in the USA Speed Queen and Viking appliances. Flick Brothers Electric, Maple Lane, Bloomsburg for over 65 years. Call 570-784-3444.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Tonight is the 30th meeting between Berwick and Hazleton area. Berwick leads the series 21-8, but Hazleton area has won 3 straight, including a 20-0 win last season at Harmon Guy Stadium. In our next segment, Bo will tell us about those Cougars, but now it's time for our weekly feature, Bulldog Spotlight. Tonight, the spotlight is on sophomore linebacker Skylar Neville. Bo, Andy and I have called Skylar's name a lot this season. How would you evaluate his play from that outside linebacker position?
It's been solid for the most part. I mean, he makes some mistakes. He's young. He's made some mistakes, but he's also made some plays when he's been out of position because he's got a motor, and he goes to the ball. And I tell the kids, I'm like, listen, you can't have, when you're playing good football teams, you can't have penalties and you can't have mistakes. But if you do make a mistake, I need it 100 miles an hour. And then, and that's something that Skylar's done a great job. He can move pretty well for his size. And he makes a lot of plays by making up, going underneath and running down people. So he's done well.
What are his physical attributes? Particularly fast, strong? What? He's
probably faster than strong. He's got to get, he wrestles. I mean, he's a tough kid. He's decent size, but he's got to live. I told him he's one of them who's got to live in a weight room this year. And when he gets stronger and gets faster, I mean, he's going to be a force, outside force.
He's listed at 6'1", 175. At 6'1", he can put on some weight.
Yeah, I think in his family, and I think his mom was telling me that there's some big boys in the family and big uncles and everything. So hopefully he gets a little bit of size, and he has a younger brother that plays for us down in junior high. So they've been 2 tough kids for us, and just love to have those guys.
As he progresses in his high school career, could you see him helping the team at any other position?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the way he can run like that depends on his skill. I'm not sure about like a receiver or anything, but I could see him in the backfield at one time, as like a fullback or an H-back. I could see him a little bit of a tight end, coming down on some tackles because he's a physical kid. And like I said, he's going to get a little bit bigger and stronger, and that's going to help him because speed kills, Jim. And between you and I mean, he can run, and that's his main attribute.
In the Bulldog Spotlight, sophomore Skylar Neville. Tonight, Skylar and his Bulldog teammates take on Hazleton area here at Crispin Field on senior night. Up next, Bo will tell us about the Cougars' offense. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
Jim Doyle and the Berwick Bulldogs Coach Mike Bennett Show. Brought to you by Bob Subs, W&L Subaru, Nissan, Mazda, and Collision Center, First Columbia Bank and Trust, Wood Brothers Electric, Independence Ford, Preferred Portables, Mayo Funeral Home, Neighbor Fence Company, S.J. Kowalski, Reds Roofing, Nespoli Jewelers, ND Accounting, Mason Monogram, Eco First, Lehigh Valley Health Network, and Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg. The Coach Bennett Show, only right here on Pop Radio.
Hi, this is Cassidy from the Independence Ford Service Department, Route 11 in Bloomsburg. Does your Ford or Lincoln vehicle need service? Having trouble getting an appointment at your usual service center? At Independence Ford, we can and will take care of all your service needs. Regardless of where you purchase your Ford or Lincoln vehicle, our goal is to get you back on the road. Give me a call for an appointment today at 784-1414.
Come and get a great deal and total satisfaction.
Independence Ford, better people, better prices.
Hi, this is Jonathan from Nespoli Jewelers in Berwick. We are happy to announce that once again we will have the Nespoli Jewelers Athlete of the Week throughout this football season. Each week, the Berwick coaches will choose an athlete who worked hard, was a good teammate, and put forth his best effort all week. We will announce this student athlete on this station prior to the Berwick football game, and we will be honoring him by donating $100 in his name to the charity of his choice. For more information on the chosen Nespoli Athlete of the Week, please visit us on our Instagram and Facebook pages.
I would recommend Seven Mountains Media because they are on top of everything when it comes to your website. Hello, my name is Stacy Charles. I'm the owner of White Horse Graphics. Well, we had a basic website built and it was time to move the website focus on me as the owner to a business able to stand on its own. And that's what we're looking for with our new professional website that you see online now. We had security issues with our Facebook page. Immediately they called. As far as updates and things like that, they're constantly checking in, asking if there's anything that we need or updated. And as soon as I give my change to the designers, within, I would say, 24 hours, if not sooner, those changes are completed. We've had other companies that we've dealt with that I would send changes to, and it would never happen.
Let Seven Mountains Media build your next website. To learn more, visit yourstoryourhelp.com.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Hazelton area is in town to face the Bulldogs in the finale of the 2023 regular season. Cougars have a 2-7 record, but they've been very, very competitive all season long. 5 of their 7 losses have been by 7 points or less, including a 24-21 loss at Williamsport last Friday. Bo, before we talk about Hazelton area's offensive personnel, let's talk about their offense in general. How do they line up? What do they run? Describe their offense.
They spread you out. Looking at the film, Jim, I don't see them as their record as a 2-7 team. I think they got some pretty good athletes. They spread the field very well. They're in trips to open a lot, and they'll empty it out sometimes. But their quarterback, and I don't think Wilson's playing. They said he was out. Was a very, very good runner. And when you can spread teams out like that and get everybody out of the box and have your quarterback run, that's a main attribute for them.
Well, their top running back from last season, Matthew Bookman, the younger brother of Hazelton area coach Dennis Bookman, is now playing at Bloomsburg University. Their leading rusher this season is Brady Mazenko. He's a senior playing offense for the first time, and he's closing in on 1,000 yards rushing for the season. Tell us about him.
Tough kid. I mean, he does a lot for him, and he's a pretty good sized kid for 225 in high school, be a running back. That's pretty good. And it kind of reminds me of Bookman's brother. He hurt us the last 2 years. I mean, he was talk about a tough kid. He hurt us the last 2 years, and here they go. They got another big 225 running back. So he's pretty efficient and definitely a lot to worry about.
Cougars lost their starting quarterback, Austin Wilson, to a season-ending injury 2 weeks ago. Starting for him is a freshman, Freddie Cordero, who's pretty good size at 6'2". He played the entire game at Williamsport last Friday and had his team leading after 3 quarters, 21-7. What does he look like to you?
He looks like a little bit of runner, little quick guy. Doesn't throw as good as Austin or doesn't run as good as Austin, but leave no detail. When Berwick plays Hazelton, I mean, you could throw the records out, and they're still a rivalry almost from way back in the days.
You mentioned Austin Wilson as a runner. He was their second leading rusher, 430 yards. Cordero, not so much?
I mean, he runs, but he's not, like I said, he's a little bit, Austin Wilson was just a great runner. The earlier games that I've seen him before we were playing him, when we would watch other teams, I was real impressed with him. I mean, he made a lot of things happen, and he was, one of their main players. But like I said, Cordero, I mean, that doesn't take a second seat to him. I mean, he's still making a lot of things happen. Like I said, they were up against Williamsport 21-7 at halftime. So we don't take anybody lightly.
How are they up front?
They're big. They're big up front. I think probably I thought they had more skill than their skill was kind of a little better than their linemen, but their line, like I said, they have size and they move pretty well up there. And like I said, I'm not looking at a 2-7 record. I'm looking. I was pretty impressed with their football team.
So stop Mazenko's running, shake up the ninth grade quarterback. Pretty good formula for success.
Well, I mean, that's what it kind of any decent coach would do. I mean, it's the writing's on the wall. But stopping Machenko will be pretty tough because, like I said, he's pretty big, and to keep that quarterback in line and maybe put a little heat on him or try to do something. But like I said, they've got athletes, and that's a little problem for us.
Well, up next, Bo will evaluate the Cougars' defense. You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio.
I would recommend Seven Mountains Media because they are on top of everything when it comes to your website. Hello, my name is Stacy Charles. I'm the owner of White Horse Graphics. Well, we had a basic website built, and it was time to move the website focus on me as the owner to a business able to stand on its own. And that's what we're looking for with our new professional website that you see online now. We had security issues with our Facebook page. Immediately they called. As far as updates and things like that, they're constantly checking in, asking if there's anything that we need or updated. And as soon as I give my change to the designers, within, I would say, 24 hours, if not sooner, those changes are completed. We've had other companies that we've dealt with that I would send changes to, and it would never happen.
Let Seven Mountains Media build your next website. To learn more, visit yourstoryourhelp.com.
Yep, I'm looking at the pages right now.
Thomas's translation company just lost its only 2 Spanish speakers. Without the right replacements, he'll be in problemas.
Yeah, we'll have those ready. Tonight's gonna be a late one.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Get up to $800 off select kitchen and laundry appliances, plus an additional $150 off select cooking appliance pairs. And save even more with an extra $100 off select laundry pairs, $1,396 or more. Visit us in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. Valid 10/26 to 11/1. See Lowe's.com for details.
You're listening to the Coach Bennett Show on Pop Radio with the voice of the Berwick Bulldogs, Jim Doyle.
Crispin Field is the venue for tonight's regular season finale as the Bulldogs take on the Cougars of Hazleton area. Well, Hazleton area coach Dennis Bookman describes his team's defense as a 4-2-5. Is that what you see?
Yeah, we see 4-2-5, 4-4, 4-3. It depends on what you give them, what kind of spread formations. They'll take their hybrid linebackers and they'll move them out, move their linebackers out. So it's all relative, what defenses really are. You can we run a 3-5-5, but we bring 2 guys down in certain formations and it looks like a 5-2. So they readjust.
How aggressive are they?
I think they're very aggressive. I mean, they run to the ball very well. I mean, their DBs come up on all the bubble passes, and we do that. But they have some active guys. They have Xander Coleman, who's very, very active. I mean, he blitzes a lot, and he's a 6'3", 235-pound guy. I mean, he does some havoc there in the middle. So he's one of the guys we have to stop.
Yeah, they have good size in their front 4. They have 3 players 240 or bigger. At linebacker, in addition to Xander Coleman, they have Hunter Johnson. Both of those are fullback linebacker types. You consider that to be their strength?
Yeah, I think their linebackers run very well. I think their defensive line holds up guys well because they're a little bit bigger, and then these guys run and make all the tackles.
So considering what we've just said about this defense, your keys on offense?
Our keys on offense, we definitely have to run the ball. I think in anything that was our strength this year is running the ball. And I say it every week. We got to throw the ball a little bit better, throw the ball a little bit outside. It's going to be tough to run up inside of these guys. Like I said, they're big and they got really active linebackers. So any coach would try to get on the edges and try to throw the ball a little more.
Coming into tonight's game, the record of the opponents that have defeated you, the 7 opponents that have beaten Berwick this season, are combined 49-14. So it's been one of those years. The only 2 teams that you faced that had losing records, you beat both of them. Now you're facing a third team. Of course, Hazelton area is looking at it the same way. It should be interesting.
Yeah, this is a coin toss here. I mean, this is who the kids who want it more. I mean, Mr. Buckman's done a great job up there when he took over. I thought he's done a phenomenal job, and the kids are going to be tough and willing to go. So both teams at 2-7. How it has been, the rivalry has been for years. Berwick and Hazelton, very close. They always play us very, very tough. So it's up to the challenge of our guys. Or do you want to get up for this game? Does this mean anything to you, especially the seniors?
Well, throughout the show, I've referred to this game as the regular season finale. In the latest point standings in District 2-4A, your team is 7th, which would put you in the playoffs. It's a situation where you're not likely to drop out of that top 8 because Hazelton area is a 6A school, which will give you points. But you had a decision to make. I mean, you could have opted out of the playoffs with your record. Tell us why you didn't.
Well, I mean, last week. I mean, it's like I said, the ball pops out into Everett Schneider's hand. He goes down. We're on a 20-yard line with 3.5 minutes left. We're down by 6. And a little snap goes through our quarterback's legs. I mean, that's the kind of luck we've had. We've had Wilkes-Barre playing a big, 6A school. We had them with 8 minutes to go. They're driving. They're up by 7. Abington Heights, halftime, we're up 21-14 at those guys. We're in a lot of football games. We just have to learn how to finish for 48 minutes. Sometimes we've been playing 2 quarters, sometimes we play 3 quarters, and we just got to learn how to finish that game. I mean, one game Dallas game and the Southern game, we probably didn't play any quarters, was our worst games, but every other game we were in, and that's why we've opted, we're right there. I tell the guys, once you start believing in yourself and finishing for 4 quarters, and it's tough because we've had a lot of guys out. We don't have that many guys on our roster, and our players all of them play both ways. So and I know they're tired and all this and that. That's why I'm so proud of these guys of this year, and regardless of what happens, these guys, they hold a special place in my heart because with the numbers that we have and what they're doing going out there laying on the line, I can't say anything else.
Thanks again. Good luck, and we'll have another one next week.
All right. Thank you, Jimmy.
Listen for another edition of the Coach Bennett Show next Friday when the Bulldogs will be on the road to take on an opponent yet to be determined in a District 2-4A quarterfinal. Stay tuned now for Hazelton area at Berwick football here on Pop Radio.
You've been listening to the Coach Bennett Show. Brought to you by Blaze Alexander Family Buick GMC of Bloomsburg, Lehigh Valley Health Network, Eco First, Mason Monogram, MD Accounting, Nespoli Jewelers, Reds Roofing, S.J. Kowalski, Neighbor Fence Company, Mayo Funeral Home, Bob Subs, Preferred Portables, Independence Ford, Flick Brothers Electric, First Columbia Bank and Trust, and W&L Subaru, Nissan, Mazda, and Collision Center. Stay tuned for Berwick football on Pop Radio.